Michael Gove has a new definition of extremism. Let's hear from Michael and stick around to listen to George Galloway and Andrew Slaughter.
And it is important, just as with our definition of extremism, to be precise in the use of language when discussing Islamism. Islamism should never be confused with Islam. Islam is a great faith, a religion of peace, which provides spiritual nourishment to millions, inspires countless acts of charity, and celebrates virtues of generosity, compassion, and kindness. Islamism is a totalitarian ideology which seeks to divide, calls for the establishment of an Islamic state governed by Sharia law, and seeks the overthrow of liberal democratic principles. It has its roots in the thinking of the founder of the Muslim Brotherhood, Hassan al-Banna, the founder of Jamaat-e-Islami, Abu al-Maududi, and the Muslim Brotherhood ideologue, Said Qutb. The Palestinian branch of the Muslim Brotherhood is, of course, organisations such as the Muslim Association of Britain, which is the British affiliate of the Muslim Brotherhood, and other groups such as Cage and MEND, give rise to concern for their Islamist orientation and views. We will be holding these and other organisations to account to assess if they meet our definition of extremism, and will take action as appropriate. There are, of course, further steps that we will take in the coming days and weeks to marginalise extremist groups and to support and strengthen those communities where extremists are most active and spreading division. This will include responding to Dame Sarah Khan's forthcoming report on social cohesion and democratic resilience, and Lord Walney's independent review of how to counter political violence and disruption. In this debate, we must never forget about the experiences of victims of extremism who are targeted by extremist groups and the severe and distressing impact it has on their lives. So I'm pleased that Dame Sarah Khan will be addressing this in her forthcoming report.
Thanks, Mike. Now let's hear Andy Slaughter.
Thank you very much, Madam Deputy Speaker. This tweet was liked by Sir Paul Marshall. Civil war is coming. There has never been a country that has remained peaceful with a sizable Islamic presence. Once the Muslims get to 15 to 20% of the population, the current cold civil war will turn hot. Many other incendiary tweets were liked or retweeted by Marshall, a substantial donor to both the Tory party and the Secretary of State personally, according to a recent Hope Not Hate newsagent's investigation. How does the Secretary of State square his definition of extremism with accepting money from someone like Marshall?
Well, I deprecate the personal attack on Sir Paul Marshall, who is a distinguished philanthropist and the supporter of ARC academies, which are state schools that have done so much, including in the Honourable Gentleman's constituency, to improve the lives of disadvantaged children from a variety of minority backgrounds.
Oh, well, that's all right then. Didn't really answer the question. Anyway, here comes George Galloway.
George Galloway.
Deputy Speaker, it's quite clear that there's a shared endeavour going on between the two front benches, but as questions have continued, it's quite clear there's unease on both sides of the House on the back benches, and for very good reasons. It is obviously true that this is part of a culture war wallpaper that's being created for the general election soon to come. It's not good enough to say that it doesn't seek to ban or jail anyone. You try getting a bank account once you've been branded by Michael Gove as an extremist. Now, extremism, if we were debating this in the Oxford Union, as once we did in his salad days on another matter, we'd all be talking about what's the definition. I just remind the Secretary that a former Speaker of this House was wearing a Hang Nelson Mandela t-shirt when my right honourable friend and I were seeking the overthrow of apartheid and being called divisive. This building is designed to show that politics is full of division, and sometimes those reviled as extremists turn out to have been right all along.
Can I first of all congratulate the Honourable Member on his election as Member of Parliament for Rochdale. As he quite rightly points out, we have known each other for several decades, and during that time I have always admired his oratorical skills and the passion with which he makes his case. There's nothing in this definition that any Honourable Member should fear will inhibit them from making their case, and while I passionately disagree with the Honourable Gentleman on so many issues. He has the same rights as every other member of this House and deserves to be listened to with respect as he makes his case.
Well, Michael didn't really answer anything there, but he is correct. George does have every right to be back in Parliament articulating his views. I think he's doing a great job. Please subscribe if you haven't already and let me know in the comments. Who do you agree with? Michael, Gove, George Galloway or Andy Slaughter?